What's up, guys? My name is Andy, and for the last few years, I've been selling stuff on eBay that I've found at garage sales and thrift stores, and I'm here to share with you my top 10 flips of 2024. So let's get right into them. So my number 10 sale on eBay for 2024 was a Hot Wheels car, actually. This one was a Redline Beach Bomber van, and normally I don't like buying Hot Wheels cars. I've bought so many of them in the past and never really made any money, but I do know that you're supposed to look for red lines when you're looking at Hot Wheels cars, but they are very hard to come by, so I typically don't even look. But I was having some bad luck when I was out at some sales in North Carolina, and I really wasn't finding anything, but I remembered a sale that I went to earlier in the day that had some Hot Wheels cars and like bins and bins of them. So I decided to go back and I went and picked out a few cars, maybe 30 of them out of everything. And I was really just picking on ones I liked. I wasn't even looking for red lines because I was like not thinking that I would actually find any. But I actually picked out 3 red lines, and 2 of them were like newer reproductions. There's still a little bit of value, but I was just picking out ones I liked. And this van was in awful condition, but I do know that older Hot Wheels vans do well, and the brighter the colors they are, the better. And even though this one was in pretty rough shape, I was able to sell it for $89.99 gross sale, and my net profit after fees and shipping was $75.11 for my 10th best flip of 2024. And I actually started making my money on eBay through selling graded Pokemon cards. I kind of sold my collection, then I was buying and selling for a while when the market was really hot back in 2021. And I do have some sales still left over from that time, but I'm not going to include them here because it gets a little bit muddy as far as like what I paid for the item. So I'm skipping those for the purpose of this video, because otherwise basically my whole top 10 would be Pokemon card sales. Anyways, my number 9 flip of 2024 was this T-Pain microphone, and I didn't know this thing even existed, but I guess it's like a microphone that you sing into and it changes your voice to sound like T-Pain. I was at a Goodwill in Southern Illinois, and I was just kind of looking for stuff that I could flip on my way back home from a trip. And this microphone was sitting there for $4, and I knew it was going to have some value. I still looked it up and I saw some sold comps, but I wasn't totally sure because this one was a little bit different. But I ended up selling it for $95.49, giving me a net profit of $77.61, which was not too bad. So back to the graded Pokemon card thing for just a second. I used to sell these cards for hundreds of dollars in profit, and that was back in 2021, and I really just didn't think the market was going to be sustainable at those prices. And it did go up and down over the last couple of years, but right now it's at an all-time high again, and maybe I should have stuck with it. I do still have a few cards trickling through. I do still buy them when I see them, and it's good to have that knowledge when you do come across them out at yard sales. So number 8 was this Brevet camera backpack. This was a really nice looking backpack. I almost wanted to keep it for myself, but for my purposes, it was a little bit too small. But I bought this at a garage sale for $10 or about $10. It was one of those sales where there was multiple families at one sale, and if you tried to make a deal, it got really weird because different people were making different money. I really don't like that at yard sales. If you're having a sale with other people, I do think that you should maybe work out something so that you can give people a deal and then figure out the profits later. That's the way I would do it. But anyways, this Brevet backpack sold for $103.39 for a net profit of $78.65. A side note is that I really only took eBay seriously this year for about 6 months. I did spend some time outside of the country, so my store was actually shut down for about 3 months out of the year. But this Q4 of 2024 was really good to me, and I really think I made out with some good profits anyways, despite being shut down for a good portion of the year. So number 7 was this wood model boat. And I really didn't know that this thing had any value at all, but I was curious while I was at the Goodwill, and I tried looking it up on the eBay app, and I did find some similar sold comps, but I wasn't really sure exactly how much value it had, so I listed it for a little bit higher price. I ended up taking an offer of $106, and that left me with a net profit of $81.73 for my 7th best flip of 2024. And speaking of models, you guys, I think I had my best Goodwill pickup of all time this week. And I look forward to sharing that with you guys in the next video, assuming this one does well. And next up for number 6 was another Goodwill pickup, which was this Panasonic vacuum. A lot of people are afraid of these bigger items because they don't want to ship them, but I really don't care. If I can make money on it, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to sell it. This cost me $25 at Goodwill, and the total sale was $126.13 for a net profit of $82.04 for my number 6 pickup of 2024. I do get a lot of items at Goodwill because there is a really good store right down the road from my house, and there's really not a lot of options for sourcing in my area, especially in the winter time. But even in the summer, we don't really have like weekly flea markets or anything like that. So pretty much everything I source is from a thrift store or a yard sale, no matter what time of the year it is. And at number 5 was this marble chess set. This was just a really nice looking item. It came with all the pieces, although one of them was broken. The board was just made out of marble and green stone, and it just looked really nice. So I picked that up for $7, and I sold it for $148.20 for a net profit of $94.61. And the guy who bought this was thrilled to have it. Apparently he had one as a child and he wanted one again. He didn't mind that the one piece was broken. He wanted to fix it, and he's going to use this chessboard. And that's something that's really cool about picking up items, selling them to somebody who can really appreciate it. Number 4 was this Aura digital photo frame, and this I found at a yard sale. It was in a very affluent neighborhood, and they had it brand new for sale for $10. And we had just bought one of these recently for my grandmother, so I knew they had value, picked it up for $10, and I sold it for $124.95 for a net profit of $97.64. These are my favorite items to sell. I love picking up brand new items in the packaging. They're very easy to list on eBay, and they usually end up being a hassle-free transaction to the buyer. Next up at number 3 is this Duro product skateboard, and I think I had a little bit of a learning lesson on this one. I couldn't really find any sold comps for this one, so I kind of came up with a price based on similar skateboards I had sold years ago and some sold comps for some kind of similar skateboards. But this item sold within like 20 minutes for $116.19 for a net profit of $100.70. After doing a little research, I do think this item would have been worth maybe $200. It might have even been worth like $400. I don't really know, but I got it for free. I sold it for a $100 profit, and I'm pretty sure it went to a collector who's going to enjoy this skateboard. So before I get into the top 2, I just wanted to share a few numbers. My average gross per sale last year was $36.36, and my average net per sale was $25.18. So my net profit margin was 71%. I was hoping for a little bit higher numbers, but I was also selling a lot of individual trading cards for like $3 to $5 to $10. So I think that skewed my numbers a little bit. And I also do sell some used film gear for my production company. I didn't include that in this list, but it does skew my numbers since I basically take a loss on those items as well. So for number 2 was this set of Pyrex bowls. You do see a lot of these. I don't fully know how to value these. Some of them are worth a little bit more, some are worth a little bit less based on the color and the pattern. But this was a really nice looking set. It was kind of this like robin's egg blue, and I sold this for a total sale of $184.49. After shipping and fees, it came out to $128.40 in profit for my number 2 flip of 2024. And if you're wondering where I'm getting all these numbers from, I subscribe to an app called Flipwise. Justin, the creator of this software, actually has a YouTube channel that I learn a lot of information from, so I'll link that in the description below. But in 2024, I sold 465 items on eBay, and my total net profit was $7,930. And this was topped by my number 1 sale of 2024, which was a trading card. I found this at an apartment sale. It was a community sale, and this guy was kind of late setting up his sale, and we happened to be walking past right when he was setting up. He had a whole bin of trading cards. There was a bunch of Pokemon, a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I asked him how much were they, and he's like, oh, it depends on the card. And I was kind of looking through it, and I found a few base set cards. They were non-holos, but they were rare. I know I can typically sell those for like $4, $5, $8, maybe $10, some of them. So I asked him how much he wanted for the whole bin, and he told me $20. And I was like, that's great, I'll pay you the $20. And I took it home. And when I was going through it, I found a whole bunch of really nice cards, including this one, which was this Charizard card from EX Crystal Guardians. This is a very rare card. It was in a little bit rough shape since it was just kind of thrown in there with all the other cards, but it sold for $149.50 for a net profit of $128.86. I think that was a pretty lucky find. You don't really find Pokemon cards like that out at yard sales anymore. But anyways, guys, thanks for checking out my top 10 flips of 2024. And let me tell you that 2025 is already off to an amazing start. I've sourced some amazing items already, and I've had some record-breaking sales already, even just a few days into 2025. Please let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I look forward to making more of these videos in the future, and I can't wait to share more of my flipping journey with all of you.